My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe knows South Lake. Welcome, and a happy South Lake morning on this Monday. Are you ready to grab today and just kick some ass? I am. I am happy to be here today. How are you, Jay?
I'm excited, Joe. I don't know if I'm as excited as you are, but I don't know that anyone in this building is as excited as you are, Joe. But that's good, though.
Do you know, people have given me crap for that in the past. You know, I love to be excited first thing in the morning because it's so easy to carry the weight of the day, especially as the day goes on. Man, if you don't start your day excited and ready to live, then, man, you're never going to be excited sometimes.
It's true. I agree with you, Joe.
You know, I will tell you a little foible about Joe. When I was younger, I used to live in a house that had a French door and a little bit of a balcony. And every single morning, when the winter, it was up north, in the winter, in the daylight, I would throw on a pair of shorts and I would stand on my balcony and I would shout, "Good morning, world! I'm ready to come for you. You better be ready for me." And I would do that today, but I'd probably get arrested in the neighborhood I'm in.
Probably, yeah.
Let's see, what's a crazy old dude doing? Okay, we have an amazing show for you today. Today, we are going to talk about Columbus Day. Yes, today is Columbus Day. It is also National Kick-Ass Day, which is why I said that. We are going to talk a little bit about some fall festivals. We have a cup of Joe today, and I'm going to tell you about that. And then today we have County Commissioner Sean Parks, Commissioner of District 2, a longtime servant of the community and of Lake County as far as being a commissioner. Guy has some amazing stuff. He has his fingers in a lot of pies, and he manages to keep it all coordinated and organized. Probably should have used a juggling analogy there instead of fingers in pies. At any rate, we're going to hear from our family of sponsors. When we come back, we'll get started. Don't go away. Monday, important day to be here at Joe Knows South Lake. See you in a minute.
Hello, my name is Michael Singh with Singh Insurance and Financial Services. Our goal is to build trust based on a clear understanding of how your insurance policy protects you, your family, and even your business. When was the last time you took a good hard look at your insurance coverage? Would you be open to the possibility of reviewing your policy with me? One review of your policy can save you valuable time and money. Call me today to set up a review of what may be available to you.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Claremont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
And welcome back. Always good to hear from our family of sponsors. I just want to encourage you to use their services when you have need. Go to South Lake TV sponsors first. They're awesome. They're vetted. You really ought to use them. At any rate, today, Columbus Day. You know, in our world, in our culture today, Columbus Day has lost a little bit of its shall we say, power and notoriety. There has been some issue. Several states now, instead of Columbus Day, celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day. That gets to be a political thing. I kind of like Columbus Day. Okay, the first time, we all know, we've all heard the thing. In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. He actually did sail in 1492. Rediscovered, well, he didn't actually discover North America. It was in one of his further journeys. What he discovered actually was the Bahamas, looking for a trade route to Asia. If you don't know that, if you never learned that in school, you need to check your education, pick up a history book. But Columbus was actually not the first discoverer of North America. We believe that Leif Erikson was the first discoverer of North America. But Columbus Day, Columbus is given the credit because it is of the modern age. 1792 was the first Columbus Day celebration in New York City. It was 300 years later, and it was actually celebrated as 300 years in North America. It became a federal holiday in 1937, and this holiday has grown, and for many, many years was really marked as a celebration of patriotism, that Columbus took the bold choice and went out to take a risk and discover something that became the United States of America. So how do you celebrate Columbus Day? Well, if you work for the feds, you're probably off today. If you don't work for the feds, well, you can just look it up on Google. The mark of fall, right? All right. Fall festivals. Look, fall festivals are a fun thing to do. And if you're someone like me, my wife and I were born-again Christians. We're really not into the whole Halloween, spooky, evil, blood-dripping thing. Okay. Although if you come by my house on Halloween night, I'll probably have candy for the little kids. But if you're a teenager, you ain't getting nothing, so go away. Anyways, fall festivals. Saturday, my wife and I were sitting around. I wasn't feeling really good, but I'll be darned if I was going to spend a whole gorgeous Saturday just sitting in my house feeling bad. And so I went online and looked up some fall festivals, and I found one that I thought I wanted to go to at a local farm. And in the website I was reading, it said, come out and enjoy the candy apples and the corn maze and the, it went through this list of things to do. So I got the address and we headed out. I expected there'd be some admission at the door. In other places in the county, I've seen farms do this sort of thing. It's $10 at the door, and then they have all sorts of free stuff to do, and there's stuff to buy, but you don't have to. Well, I got to this particular fall festival, and as I'm pulling up the dirt road that I've been on for 3 miles, now my car is covered in dirt, I see a sign that says you have to have your pass ready. Well, I didn't have a pass. We finally get up to the gate, and it turns out you're supposed to buy your passes online in advance. And apparently that doesn't show on Safari. So if you're looking on your phone, you were AOL, you were SOL. I was about to say AOL, but that's something else. Here's my point. We get in there, we paid the $20, I was cool with it, but we got in there and there really wasn't much to do for free. There were a lot of things to pay for. And frankly, had I showed up with a car full of kids, I'd have been really upset because I could have easily dropped $150 just buying a pumpkin and feeding my kids. And I just didn't feel, I'm the kind of guy that says, look, if I pay at the door, then if I pay at the door, then I shouldn't have to spend another $120 inside. If I don't pay at the door, I expect to spend money inside. So that said, I don't want to talk bad about anybody. I had a bad experience. I want to tell you, go ahead and do your checking. Check deep. There are some great fall festivals here in town. Kim's Cabbage Patch is running one. I know there's one in downtown Claremont. Should be a lot of fun. Don't miss them. Keep an eye out. You can go online and find a lot of those. And I believe when it airs, our new show, Positive Vibes. Mm-hmm. Positive Vibes is going to talk about in their first episode about local fall festivals. So, all right, Cup of Joe success. Look, all last week we talked about failure. So this week we're going to talk about success. And one of the things that we outlined last week was the different phases. We're going to do the same thing with success. Now, I have been told that while I never consider myself a success, there are indicators of it. So we're going to examine the four factors of four factors of success: belief, hard work, adjust, and patience. So you're going to have to stay tuned this week to see those. The truth is, success, just like failure, it's going to all be in how you define it. And I will encourage you to not only look for the success in your life this week, but how to get there. All right. With all that said, we are going to go to commercial break. I want to have time for Sean Parks. This guy is really, really cool. He's into a lot of things. He has been serving the community in an awesome way for a while. We're going to talk to him when we come back. Don't go away. You really need to hear from this commissioner.
Hello, I'm Mary Rhodes with the Mortgage Firm, your local mortgage lender. I've helped thousands of families achieve the dream of homeownership in Lake County, and I would love to help you. Our team has over 30 years of experience helping first-time homebuyers, veterans, move-up buyers, seasoned investors, and more. Please read our reviews and visit us at mortgagefirmpros.com.
The best things in life aren't items we can grab and hold. They are the moments that grab and hold us. Moments that captivate us, inspire us, and enrich us. Moments that bring joy, strength, and peace. At Sing Insurance and Financial Services, we help you to treasure these times by being there when life's most difficult moments arise. Through our services, you will find independence, flexibility, health, and security that will prosper and protect your life. Whether you are driving that new car, buying that new home, opening that new business, or building a new family, we provide you the peace of mind and freedom to enjoy life's best things. Your next moment is waiting. Are you ready?
Welcome to Erica's Tea Room. Located in the heart of downtown Clearmont, this specialty tea shop offers a traditional high tea experience that can be enjoyed with family and friends. While here, you can choose from over 100 teas from all over the world, and a multitude of teapots are available for purchase. Join us for lunch or choose from one of our special evening events. Call to make a reservation. Erica's Tea Room, making memories with every cup.
And welcome back. Again, always good to hear from our family of sponsors. I want to remind you, Spotlight sponsorship still available. Don't miss out, because once it's gone, it's gone. I want to welcome Sean. Welcome, Sean.
Joe,
Thank
good
you
morning.
for joining me. I had a little bit of a nervous moment this morning because as this is a process, I'm still doing some learning, and I hadn't quite gotten all the information I needed to confirm on Friday with your assistant.
I'm here, and I'm honored to be here, and I would never put South Lake TV off.
I know you wouldn't, but I was just nervous because you are busy. You have a lot of stuff going on. I have introduced Sean.
I was sleeping in for Columbus Day.
So I interrupted that, huh?
That's okay. That's all right.
Let me see. Sean is the Lake County Commissioner for District 2. He is the owner and founder of Parks Consulting Services. They are an environmental engineering consulting firm. He has a Bachelor's of Science from Florida Institute of Technology. He has a Master's of Science in Engineering Management from the Florida Institute of Technology. There's something environmental in that education. I know there is.
There is. It's environmentally mixed with the engineering part.
Okay.
Managing engineers is pretty difficult.
Yeah, I would imagine. And he also sits on the board of directors of a really cool organization called Buses and Backpacks through his church, the Church at South Lake. As I said earlier, he's got a lot of stuff going on, really kind of a depth of a guy who's serving in almost every way he can. Sean, tell us what's going on in South Lake. I mean, tell us about you a little bit and how that. I mean, you seem to serve everywhere I turn. I see you serving. What's going on in South Lake that makes you do that?
Well, sure. I'm a Central Florida native. My wife is a Central Florida native. We moved to Lake County in late 1998. Just fell in love with it, like so many of us here know. The beauty, the unique culture, the rolling hills and the lakes. And I have always kind of had service and being involved in my background. I was in Boy Scouts. I'm an Eagle Scout, and had kind of grew up that you volunteered and you did things in your community. So I got involved probably early on when we first moved to Lake County, and kind of never looked back. I had my moment after 9/11 where I wanted to, on the steps of the Capitol, where I prayed and wanted to serve the community somehow, and it led me to being a county commissioner, and I take that job very serious. It's quite an honor every day. I wake up knowing that I've got to make the most out of what I do as a county commissioner, and that it's not my seat, but I take ownership in it, and do that by trying to represent, listen. I use my technical background to best I can to make some of these decisions, and we got a great community. This. I mean, South Lake TV is covering all the cool stuff that's going on, and I wouldn't want to live any other place. There's so much good stuff that's happening right now in the county, South Lake County in particular. It's the fastest part of the county that's growing. It's really one of the fastest growing regions in all of the country, and there's challenges that come along with that. And as your county commissioner representing you, we're trying to deal with those, but yet grow in a manner that is going to be prosperous for us all, where there's prosperity in a sense. We don't want to have that growth and overcome us in a negative way. And I keep that mindset, and I know others do as well, and they have those concerns.
Let's talk about that for a minute. We have 40,000 people in Claremont alone.
That's right.
That's not South Lake County. That's just Claremont. Slated to be 80,000 people by 2025.
That's right.
And there's some really cool projects coming along. And you and I had spent. Tell us a little bit about the Olympus project.
Yeah, Olympus is really it's a really neat project. It is exactly what we were looking for. We had a lot of housing growth that's in Lake County, South Lake County in particular. Olympus. What's cool about Olympus is it's coming. It's going to be a kind of an attraction. You're going to have a health and wellness industry that's going to be there. Not just doctors, but medical sports and fitness training. It's all that whole 250-acre development is going to be centered around that industry. So it's not going to be just some more houses that are going to be built. We've got actual competitions that are going to be held there. It's going to be a community planned around health and wellness, and that's very different than what we've kind of the development pattern that we've had in the past. You've got couple $100 million worth of investment into that project alone. You're going to see hotels as well, some of the commercial that'll come along with that. I know Claremont has been a partner. Obviously, it's going to be in Claremont when they've already annexed it, but Claremont and the county have had a big partnership on that to try to attract that and bring it in.
One of the cool things about that is that while the Olympus project itself will be in Claremont, I'm starting to see ripples already in places like Mineola and Mascot and Groveland preparing for the influx, because as housing around that area will be in a certain price range, there are people that will also serve that area that need other houses, and so it's starting to spread out a little bit. As a realtor, I see that. It's the ripples in the housing market.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. I mean, you see, let's just take Mineola and the interchange. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that's open now. It's been open now for a little while, and that. And you see the, you see the growth that's being driven around just that interchange alone. And keep in mind, there's 60, 80, a couple hundred acres, maybe even around that whole area that's all commercial.
Right.
And we're hearing about interest in that interchange in that area, and you've got a couple thousand homes that will be built, 250, 300 homes a year alone just in that area.
The key word I think that you mentioned that a lot of people totally miss is you said industry.
Right.
When my wife and I first came to Florida in '99, right? Downtown Orlando had some big problems. It's the opening of things at Universal and the Universal City Walk and downtown Disney really kind of eviscerated downtown Orlando, which had fit that market need. And I can remember these politicians talking about, well, what do we need to bring in to get people to come in? And the one thing they didn't have was residents. But if you drive in Orlando now, they have residents downtown, which has attracted a lot of those upper end downtown industries.
That's right.
Out here, we're driving with hospitals and, like you said, training centers. I mean, people don't come to a training center for a week or 2 weeks. They come for 2 years.
That's right.
They become coaches. That's an industry coming in. And so that's the neat part of it. Tell us about Wellness Way and how that kind of attaches to Olympus.
Yeah, a Wellness Way around Olympus, and Wellness Way is of course it's really kind of almost in the center of Wellness Way. Olympus is, and Wellness Way itself is about 16,000 acres. For those of you that know South Lake well, it's essentially the area east of Highway 27. You've got the Green Swamp, Hiluchi. You can pronounce that, and you get a prize. Hiluchi to the west, and those were the old orange groves. That's in the 80s when you had those big freezes, and I think in 1989 when it actually snowed here, it kind of killed that whole industry. And what happened is you have 29 landowners, and we took a leadership role. I came in, and I remember somebody told me, they said, "You're touching a third rail of politics here. You're trying to proactively address growth. But let's get with those landowners. Let's get with the city of Claremont. Let's the county show a little leadership. Let's try to make a situation where we're working together instead of having 29 different landowners go about it in piecemeal fashion."
Right, 29 different ways.
Yeah, and breaking off little pieces at a time. That's in a sense kind of a death by 1,000 cuts. Instead of master planning the whole community, we can get the best out of it. We can go for those industries. We can go for real wealth, bringing real wealth here. Not that housing is bad, but we don't want to see that 15,000 acres all houses. We'd like to see the industry there, and we're starting to see that now with Olympus.
Right, the houses should support jobs
Correct.
that are local.
That's right.
This is why that word industry is so important. Is to bring, and that was that downtown Orlando example. They almost had it backwards, right? They had industries. They had businesses. They just had nobody to use them.
Right. Yeah.
Here we want to do it the other way around. You want to bring in the business, which brings in the job. The Kroger, I Elevate Lake and the county and the city bringing in that Kroger thing. That 400 jobs isn't just the 400 jobs they'll provide. It's the 400 jobs they'll provide and the 1,000 jobs that will be needed to support those 400 jobs. It's a ripple effect.
I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, Kroger Okata is very exciting, and something that's kind of new to report. I have as of just kind of last week, hearing that we've already have several industries, some smaller businesses that want to relocate directly next to Kroger Okata, and so it's kind of being kept on the low right now. So we're kind of talking about something a little secret here. If you're listening, don't tell anybody. But we have some businesses that are going to come in and they want to be next to Kroger Okata from the technology aspect. They want to support the robotics and automation component along with that comes along with Kroger Okata.
Well, and part of what Kroger Okata is doing in the area with the improvement of that little section of roads and access ways, it just made sense. If you drive, I was at just like you, I was out at the groundbreaking.
That's right.
And it wasn't hard to see that there's still a lot of land there that can be used commercially, and it's close enough to housing.
That's right.
And it's in an area that the housing isn't going to be grossly expensive. And that's, again, one of the things that I specialize in is housing. I don't do commercial property because that's how I give. I see that's what's needed. It's people need a job and a house. If people can get a job and housing, they can work on success.
That's right. Yeah, we want the higher wage jobs,
Right.
and you know this, and this is kind of obvious, but when people have higher wage jobs and we increase our average salary, they're able to afford more home. They're able to buy a newer vehicle, and that is what wealth is. When you're able to own your property, when you're able to not have transportation issues, when you are able to not have food security, that's kind of a different subject, but when that is a measure of wealth, and that's what we want. We want that.
Well, it's, if you have a job and you have housing and you have transportation, those three things allow you to gain wealth. The house itself, if you're buying, will allow you to gain wealth. But even if you're renting, you have an opportunity, if you have those three things, to save money, to make life better, to put your kids through school, to educate your children, maybe to get them to maybe to give yourself a higher education. It all starts with the job and the housing.
That's right. You have a path.
Now,
That's
look,
right.
we could talk about this for an hour and a
know.
half, but I got two other subjects I want to cover really quick because we're running out of time.
You got it.
You have a podcast.
Yes,
You
thank
know, I want to talk about the podcast for a few minutes because you guys go in depth on some of these subjects. So people, if they want to know more, I tend to be a slice. I'm a taste at the bar, right?
You're doing a good job.
I'm the free sample.
I like that. I like free samples.
Yeah. But you guys go in depth. Tell us a little bit about the podcast real quick.
I appreciate you asking about it. Lake Rising. So it's called Lake Rising. And what we do is we will, like you just said, we will take a subject such as it could be growth, or it could be maybe what the city of Groveland is doing, and we will have an in-depth.
I think he's got your website up
He's
there.
got it up. Okay, excellent. We will cover in depth a subject on a podcast. Usually it's about 45 minutes because as people are driving around, that's kind of the perfect time.
Right, yeah.
And it could be growth. It could be what's going on in Groveland. It could be what's going on in Claremont. We just had Catherine Dean on recently, and we will take that subject and go into in depth detail about what's going on. We are not cover everything in Lake County or South Lake County in particular, but we will take that subject and expand on it in a podcast format. We have the strength is we have 4 different generations we have on our team. We have a baby boomer, 2 Generation Xers, a millennial, and a Generation Z.
I love that.
So we have them all. So we get all these different perspectives, and we talk, and we have a little fun at it. Usually at my expense.
Good.
But that's
Good.
all right. I'm okay with that.
So somebody's got to be the whipping boy.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you got to have it. It adds a little humor.
See, you got big shoulders. I tell people all the time, it's okay. I got big shoulders.
I can
take
carry
it.
I'm a county commissioner. Believe me, we can take
That's
abuse.
right. Look, I just want you to briefly talk about, at least mention, you and I have talked about food insecurity,
Yes.
and this is such an important thing you do. Tell us about this. How can people get in touch? You tell me how that thing works, the buses and backpacks.
Yeah, buses and backpacks is great because it's a very it's a dignified way of being able to help kids in all the South Lake County schools now through the church at South Lake. Every single South Lake County school. If there's a kid that's been identified by the principal as a child in need, maybe where they're having food issues on the weekends, because you can get food when you're at school, but it's on the weekends or maybe over the summer. What we're able to do is provide that food for them in a backpack. All they have to do is go pick up the backpack. Nobody knows. The kid is able to maintain their dignity. They're able to take it home and not have to worry about how they're going to having a good meal over the weekend or over the summer. And of course, that translates into more confidence and more security at school. And that's what we want. We want to help the kids at school.
Oh, I think we actually have that website. Walk us through that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, that's buses and backpacks on a website, and it's servingsouthlake.org is the website. And so if you want to be able to contribute or help out, we're always looking for volunteers to just stuff the bags. We do those kind of periodically. If you go to servingsouthlake.org, you will be able to get online and volunteer.
Do you have something special coming up for Thanksgiving, or
We
are you
do.
working with a couple other organizations?
Yes, as a matter of fact, and it's coming up. I think it's going to be next weekend. I believe there's going to be another. We go to the warehouse and we ask volunteers to come and stuff the bags. We will do that definitely before Thanksgiving, and at Christmas time we take gifts as well. So we'll be putting gifts with food bags together.
Do me a favor. This is your camera.
Okay.
Tell the folks how to get in touch with you if they want to take part in that event, or if they have any questions for their county commissioners or any of that.
County commissioner, I encourage, and thank you, I encourage everybody to reach out to me, whatever the question is. You can always reach out to me by my email address. That's sparks@lakecountyfl.gov. I don't even mind putting my phone out. If you want to call me at 352-988-7099, you can call me there as well. If you want to reach, you could probably use either one of those if you would like to try to help with buses and backpacks. You can, of course, go to servingsouthlake.org as well. Either way, any of those addresses, that phone number, you can get a hold of me. I'll direct you and try to help you out. Thank you for your help too.
We appreciate the transparency.
Joe.
Thank you for the email address and the phone number. You know your assistant's going to kill you, right?
Yes, I know she will. She'll probably want. And if I can, I'll put another phone number out there. That's 352-343-9850. So if you can't get a hold of me there at the first number I gave you, my assistant always knows how to get a hold of me.
Yeah,
that's
good,
where you can reach her.
Good. She's a sweetheart too. She will return your phone call.
Andrea, my assistant, is awesome. I love her.
Andrea is awesome. I can attest to
Yeah.
that. From the other end, you're just the guy that she works for. Well, not just the guy, but you have a perspective. But I have the perspective of being the guy trying to reach you. And she was just absolutely golden. You know.
Yeah, she's great. Thank you.
Look, that's all the time we have. Thank you, Sean,
Thank
for
you.
coming
Thank you,
on.
Joe.
I want to
Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Sean.
Yeah.
Look, if you know somebody who should be a guest on Joe Knows South Lake, let me know. I know Sean has a couple of teachers. Teachers and students. He's gonna plug me in for Fridays. Let me know. I'm sure Jay has the information up. If you know somebody who should be advertising, or your business should be advertising. Look, when you sponsor shows here on South Lake TV, you're not just sponsoring the show and the ads. You get so much more because you're sponsoring all the community projects we do, the streaming of the football games and the streaming of the city council meetings, the educational programs that we're doing, exposing high school kids to careers and technologies they might not have thought of here in South Lake. So make sure, if you're thinking of advertising, we have great bang for the buck. Reach out to me and I'll talk to you about it. With all that said, there is greatness inside all of us, and there's greatness inside you. And as another one of my guests has shown, it's not hard to show that greatness. Dare to go kick ass today and show the greatness inside you. I'm Joe. This has been Joe Knows South Lake. I'll see you tomorrow, and I love you. Bye-bye. My name is Joe. 20 years ago, my wife and I moved to Lake County with our 4 young children and settled down. In that time, we've worked, worshiped, played, and raised our family. Today, I've met the people and discovered the businesses and organizations that make up a vibrant, dynamic community. Join us as we share with you what makes South Lake great. I'm Joe, and Joe Knows South Lake.